During the first 7 days of 2023, we unite around the world to co-create a global field of intention and action for the healing and replenishment of Mother Earth and all her children. Shedding the noise and distractions, we slow down and listen to the whispers of our heart's calling. In sacred space, we attune to the language of essence, the radiance of life shining through our familiar patterns and stories, guiding our way forward. As we follow the path of essence, we reawaken our ancient knowing of how to live with nature as nature. Together, we seed the new year with clarity, courage, and commitment to live lightly and lovingly, cultivating that which is most essential and nourishing for the thriving of all life.
Welcome, everyone, to day 6 of our Global Coherence Pulse, where today our theme is clarity. So let us take just a moment as we come into this sacred circle in community together, and let's breathe. Let's breathe through our hearts in our field of resonant heart coherence as our fiery hearts unite across distance. As we come to rest in essence, and as we once again have this magnificent opportunity to pulse out love to the world, right through to cosmos. And as we were preparing today, and Teresa shared that it's been a real buildup this week with the 7 themes, day 1, presence. And as we presenced in our community field of heart coherence, and day 2, resonance. And we could really feel that resonance with essence. And then day 3, radiance of love and light. And day 4, gratitude, that great cycle of giving and receiving, love, and a premier heart quality. Day 5, truth, as we reorient to truth through silence. And then today, day 6, clarity of choice. We choose love. So it's a great joy today to be able to introduce to everyone Michael Linfield, who will share about clarity. Michael, it's always such a joy. You're a dear friend and brother who I will say is a highly regarded consultant and spiritual guide. You've got over 50 years of international experience as you support individuals and organizations to unleash the creativity of the human spirit in response to the urgent need of our times and the compelling call of the soul to shape a more compassionate, just, and joyful future as you seek to apply the ageless wisdom teachings in daily life. So Michael's a co-founder of the Science of Group Work Initiative. He serves presently as board president of Meditation Mount in Ojai, California. And he's a member of the Community of Living Ethics in Umbria, Italy. And Michael, I must add that you were the gardener and director of education at the Findhorn community in Scotland. You've done organic farming in Sweden. And presently you're offering soul gardening at Meditation Mount. So let us give a warm welcome I could say much more, but let us hear Michael as he shares with us the theme, clarity.
Thank you, Dot. So here are some thoughts that came through once I had cleared my field. So we're in the 7 days of rest and return to essence. So as we return to essence, we naturally enter a state of great clarity, a pristine place of pure awareness where all is clearly seen, sensed, and deeply known in our bones and spiritual DNA. I sense that the clarity of this inner essential reality is constantly seeking to reveal and manifest itself through the forms of daily life, using each of us as its incarnated agents and artisans. So we're still developing our ability to craft and create through the imagination, through the mind, and through the palette of colors that comprise our feelings. So what we presently sculpt and paint on life's canvas is not yet a perfect rendition, not yet a clear representation on the outside of this essential inner nature. Clarity means to be clear and free from contamination and cloudiness. Clarity covers the whole spectrum, ranging from purity of thought, purity of heart, to the purity of the ethers, the soil, as well as the waters of Gaia. All needs clearing and cleaning, and clarity is the key in doing this. And coincidentally, today is the full moon in the solar sign Capricorn. Now, not all of you are familiar with the astrological rituals of full moon meditations, but there's something very pertinent about the symbol of Capricorn that I'd like to bring forward. Capricorn has to do with the theme of the clarity of spiritual sight. Let me explain. Capricorn is an earth sign, and its symbol is the goat. This is the two-horned goat representing the struggles and strivings of our human nature, and it has the task of climbing the rock-strewn and arid mountain to eventually reach the lighted summit of self-realization. And when eventually we reach the summit, something magical happens. On completing this peak experience, the goat or seeker is transformed into the unicorn. Think about it. The unicorn possesses a single spiral horn that connects and communes with the cosmos, allowing the power and presence of a greater light to flow into and through the intrepid climber. And we're reminded of a biblical text that states, "When thine eye be single, thy body shall be full of light," because the horn of the unicorn is located at the point on the forehead we call the third eye. So the goat or seeker, who previously could only see through two earthly eyes, now reaches a higher state of consciousness and clarity upon summiting the mountain, and now sees clearly with the single illumined eye of spirit. It's all about clarity. And each of us is being invited to see more clearly, to see with the eyes of the heart, for it is the open and loving heart that can clearly register the truth of any situation. The kind and caring heart perceives everything with the greatest clarity. Unfortunately, we humans have not yet fully understood the direct correlation between our thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors and the state of the environment. Many of us know at the recent COP27 gathering, nations were invited to address the climate crisis by taking meaningful and immediate measures to reduce harmful emissions. We don't have to wait for the nations. We, as Gaians, can take direct action and play a vital part without further delay. Therefore, I invite and challenge all of us to drastically reduce the toxic emissions from our own ecosystem of self, that personal universe of lives for which we have been entrusted stewardship responsibilities. So, as a vital and urgently needed contribution to the well-being of the planet, let us each pledge to halt all personal toxic emissions. Now, this is a real source of pollution and ecological damage that is very close to home, and it is within our power to address immediately. Let's remind ourselves that every thought and feeling creates a corresponding chemical that, once it reaches a certain point of precipitation, shows up in our physical body as an ailment, a disease, or in the ecology of Earth as an imbalance. So we abhor the noxious waste that poisons our atmosphere, our oceans and land, but we seldom stop to think of the individual acts of pollution that take place daily. Each derogatory thought or negative emotion we send out is a poisonous release into the ethers and has the same destructive effect as any harmful chemical would have on the physical world. So this is a reminder to self and to all of us, whenever our hearts and minds are filled with hate towards others, we spew out harmful particulates. The psychological climate of our planet is being adversely affected by these emissions. And if we had the capacity to scan the mental horizons of our collective consciousness, we would perceive dark thought forms and emotionally charged particles clouding the inner skies. This acid rain cloud of the human psyche is a powerful corrosive force that is eating away at the social and moral fabric of our world. And we quite rightly demand of industry and governments limits to emissions, and yet we often fail to understand that the factory of the human mind is churning out pollutants each time we think in separatist and prejudicial ways about each other or act violently towards the many creatures of the sea, land, and air with whom we share this fair earth. Clearly, we need to clean up our act. So clarity on the mental level requires a field of pure thought that is always in service of the common good, not self-serving. It's a mind that is free from the contamination of hatred, separative thinking, divisive opinions. And you could think that clarity of our emotional or astral body is achieved when these waters are no longer polluted by negative feelings that cloud and contaminate and then eventually end up polluting both the psychic and physical oceans and waters that we share with each other and with other lives for whom Gaia is home. I'm not attempting to paint a dark picture. I'm attempting to show that we started from a place of deep clarity and innocence and purity, and yet we have not yet gained the skills to manifest that on the outside. So I invite us to begin this necessary inner cleanup today. And we'll do it through the agency of a guided group meditation coming later in the broadcast. So we can actually take action. We have the responsibility, we have the power, and also we have the joy of creating a healthy world together. And the first ecosystem that needs cleaning up is Michael's own ecosystem, the ecosystem that I call my universe of self. So clarity begins with a conscious return to essence and a fiery commitment to serve the good of the whole through all that we think, all that we feel, all that we say, and all that we do every moment of every day. So I leave you with these thoughts just to assimilate in the heart, hoping they will bring a greater degree of clarity to us, and that we together can bring clarity to our world, and clarity will reveal the truth, the goodness, and the beauty that lives at the heart of our precious planet. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. You know, and while we are both on screen here together, as we sense this clarity, let us begin intentionally right now as we are moving through the program today to really pulse out this clear thinking, right? Clear thinking, knowing that energy follows thought.
Energy follows thought, exactly. We are agents of regeneration because we are generators. We generate through thinking, through what we put out through our heart. We can generate a healthy planet and a healthy personal life and a group life, or we can end up with what we have at the moment, which is unconscious and ignorant thinking and acting.
Mm.
If we take away blame and judgment, it just means that we have not yet made the connection that we don't just live on the earth, we are the earth.
Yeah.
I mean, that clarity, when that clarity dawns that I am a Gaian, I am a sacred fractal of one life, I am the earth, we are the earth. Therefore, there is no other thing. The whole earth lives inside of me and us, and we live inside the whole earth. So our task is with clarity to create wholeness every moment, through every relationship, every interaction with every being with whom we encounter, both visible and invisible.
Beautiful. Yeah, thank you so much. I just want to take a moment before we let you go as we begin pulsing out into the field and through and beyond. And I want to mention Teresa, who is not in this Zoom room. I am once again today, because she is right now experiencing clarity. There she is in California, USA, where the atmospheric storms are creating a bit of unrest. And steady as she goes, Teresa, you know, we all know we're in the right place at the right time, and sometimes it's really challenging. So we are pulsing so much love to you right now. So thank you, Michael, for being with us today. We look forward to the meditation. So it's now a great joy to welcome Theo Grace, a musician, producer, father, husband, and community member in Portland, Oregon, USA.
Actually, I'm in Boulder now. I've moved since I wrote that bio, I think.
Well, there you go. So you're in Boulder, Colorado. Thank you. Thank you for being with us, Theo. So over the last 8 years, you have self-produced 10 electronic ambient albums, 2 solo acoustic albums, and you are releasing several new conscious pop EDM singles and remixes. So I have to say, your music reflects the depth of the heart. And the songs that I have heard you offer, Theo, have touched the very heart of Gaia and my heart. So thank you for being with us today. And we know your music is also featured in many of the audio and video offerings in the Gene Keys. So welcome to the Global Coherence Pulse.
Thanks, Dot. It's great to be here. Yeah, I've been doing these with Teresa and friends and so many here on the call for many years now, and it's such a pleasure to get to connect. And today we're connecting in the theme of clarity, and I was contemplating clarity. And one of the things that's just a nice, practical, useful tool is for me to like be clear about what's happening, and then my assessments, my reactions, my stories about what's happening, and to be able to just separate out the two. Because I might get like a text, or someone might say something and it might be sort of ambiguous, and I could like, go in 10 different directions with that. But just to have that mindfulness of what's going on inside my world, what are the thoughts I'm making up, what's the meaning I'm making about what's happening in the external world, helps bring me a lot of clarity. And I know there's a lot of meditators on the call with us today. So this is a song that's kind of an ode to meditation, and it's called Watching It Go. And it's just about the practice of letting things arise, letting life arise. And the magical thing about music is, as soon as you play a note, it comes and it goes. I sing something, I say something, and it's gone like as soon as. So, but music, the magic of music is the stringing together of music and rhythm and words and meaning, and we're telling a story. So here's this song. Open my eyes to the diamond mind, watching the clouds pass in the sky, hearing a sacred song of a universe alive. Can't hold on to anything passing away. I am here experiencing living today. High highs, low lows, and me in the middle, watching it go. Here comes the fear, oh no, watch it go. Feelings and thoughts, I watch them go. See it all and watch it go. Oh, 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 oh. Well, I am not the memories, I am the one circling for centuries around the sun, burning up everything, all that needs to be released, expanding beyond the edges of my mind. Stories and seasons, reasons and rhymes, open me up to find it's always been me in the middle, watching it go. Here comes the fear, oh no, watch it go. Feelings and thoughts, I watch them go. See it all and watch it go. Oh, 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 oh. And the secret is to see it, to feel it and receive it. Yeah, the secret is to see it, to feel it and receive it. Oh, the secret is to see it, oh, to feel it and receive it. Yeah, the secret is to see it, oh, sweetness of life. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Mm. Thank you, Theo, so much. And we will now prepare for our Global Silent Minute. Today is day 6 of 7 days of rest and return to essence. The theme, clarity. The clarity of cosmic law reveals to mankind the beauty of the world. We radiate the love and joy and recognition of the one heart as our hearts unite across distance, knowing that joy is the health of the spirit. And it is a joy to offer this daily Global Silent Minute in our community field of heart coherence, where, as always, we presence in resonance with life itself and radiate love and healing. As we listen deeply to what is emerging and demanding new expression through us for the good of the whole. We give ourselves to this new era of loving right relationship, creating an active healing field that radiates outwards and pulses the planet and beyond with the potency of our collective love and care for all of life. Daily, we are observing the exact same 9 p.m. GMT minute of silence as action in sacred unity, with millions both sides of the veil, calling for global cooperation, peace, and freedom. As we come to rest in the knowing and healing balm of essence. The power of silence is greater than we know. It is in silence that we experience unity. Silence as action in sacred unity. So let us prepare to enter a global silent minute. With a deep breath, we activate the spirit of peace in our own hearts. And we unite our fiery hearts across distance. Now we invite all those on the other side of the veil to join us. The next thing you will hear is a Tibetan singing bowl as we radiate and pulse love and healing with clarity.
We stand in the silence of the heart, feeling the pulsing of the one life, moving and circulating through and from us. We see and sense the eternal flame of being that burns in the hearth of the heart. It is the fire of love. We invite and allow the cleansing power of the fire of love to purify and bring clarity to all aspects of our lives. So we begin with the ecosystem of self, the universe of life and lives entrusted to us. So in our meditation, we begin by becoming aware of our mind, the mental field. And we visualize and sense the purifying fire of love cleanse our mind of all thoughts that do not serve the good of the whole. And we place any thoughts of separation, jealousy, ambition, pride, whatever they may be, that are currently residing in us, place them into the heart of the fire of love. And we witness their dissolution. They are burned up by the fire of love, because fire burns everything except itself. And we stand in grace and gratitude inside this new found mental clarity. And we now call upon the purifying fire of love to cleanse and clear the waters of our emotional body. And we see any feelings that may be harmful to self and others evaporate in the heat of the unconditional love of this inner fire. We witness these waterlogged emotions drying up, leaving a clear field of feelings. Clarity of feeling is vital because feeling puts us in touch with life and allows life to touch us with clarity and joy. So let us rest a while in the clarity of these new found feelings. And we now call upon the power of the fire of love to clear and cleanse our physical body from anything that may be harmful to our ecosystem of self. And we sense the fire of love clearing, purifying, nourishing, strengthening our physical body. And with great joy and relief, we sense the health and freedom gained when all pollutants are burned away. And standing inside the newfound clarity of this ecosystem of self, we join with others and we stand together and call upon the purity and power of our collective hearts to bring clarity to the multidimensional ecosystem that we know as Gaia. Standing together in the fire of love and as the fire of love, we send out purifying thoughts and loving feelings to all aspects of Gaia. We see the fire of our united hearts purifying the ethers surrounding the earth, bringing clarity to the element of air. And standing together in the fire of love, we see this purifying agent remove all contamination from the waters of our beloved earth. All rivers, streams, oceans, lakes, leaving them all pure and clear. And we see the fire of love pouring from our group heart, cleansing and purifying the soil and its multitudinous world of microorganisms. And finally, we send a powerful wave of blessing from the fiery heart of our group to that sentient being who is the life of Gaia, the planetary life, that life in whom we live and move and have our being. May we bring clarity to our world through all that we think say, and do. May we be agents of clarity, agents of love. May we show up and clear the field of all impurities that would distort the light of truth. May we stand together in the fire of love, in service of the common good. Blessings to all beings.
We are the seeds of the earth, in the midst of a rebirth. We are the young and the old, and the story's not yet told. We've come from afar, beyond the stars, and we've come to celebrate everything we are. And so we pray for the end of slavery. We pray for the end of suffering. We pray for the end of all the fighting. Finally, 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 I declare everyone, everywhere be set free from the fear and the pain and the shame we release. No longer prisoners in our very own minds. No longer struggling and fighting to survive. We revive to find the keys within our reach, and now we thrive, sharing everything we need. We are free from the poverty. There's no more need for scarcity. There's more than enough for you and me, just like the air we breathe in, and breathe out those stale emotions that just need some good old-fashioned composting. Yeah, break it back down into earth, 'cause everybody here knows how to have a rebirth. You throw a seed in the mother fertile dirt and watch the life give life, give life, give life, give life, giving life. 'Cause there is only one event here, and it's clear. Once you can hear the one song, some call it the universe. We're all singing the one song. We're all singing the you and I verse. So, well, some call it God, all that is, was, or will ever be. Whatever it is, I know that it's within you and me. So we're gonna party straight into infinity, so you can shout hip hop, hooray, yee-haw, and we all at the same time. We shine in the divine mind, which makes all of your struggle and sorrow connected to mine. So bust open those judgments with patience. Pour some love and understanding into the painful places, 'cause we're healing it. Yeah, we're gonna decompose our we're gonna rearrange and reintegrate every single way we live by synergizing new art, making sparks in the dark, with the fire in our heart bursting into who we are. Do you ever feel like you're about to collapse and explode? Well, that's the perfect curve of the divine ratio. So fold into the twinings and spiralings of a golden old yet fresh new moment, ready to love and behold. You're like a newborn baby in his grandpa's arms, in the light just arriving from a distant star. It's everywhere we are once we look, even in a simple complex melody and hook called the one song. Some call it the universe. We're all singing the one song. We're all singing the you and I verse. Well, here's the last verse, but it really just keeps on going. And the one thing that never ever stops flowing is awareness. Are you aware of it? It's never left, never will, always full and always still, and it's amazing. Eternally unchanging, holding every single thing we can possibly imagine in our experience, sinking just under the surface as we open these moments up, and dance as much as you can. Trust in the design, it's perfect like you and I. Dance as much as you can. Trust in the divine, it's perfect like you and I. All we're saying is we can say yes. All we're saying is we can say yes to the one song. Say yes to the universe. Say yes to the one song. Say yes to the you and I verse. The she-verse, the he-verse, the we-verse, the you-verse, the me-verse, the we-verse. It goes on and on and on and on and on. On and on and on and on and on. On and on and on and on and on. On and on and on. Yeah, yeah. Oh, ooh.
Oh, Theo. Thank you. And as we continue to pulse, as we welcome Michael back and we welcome Julie. Theo, if you can stay on screen with us for a moment here, that would be wonderful. And let's bring Julie Krull. Oh, let's take a moment. We've been pulsing this entire time, and let's do it very intentionally right now. Just from our hearts, because Theo, really, we are all singing the one song. Say yes to the universe. How beautiful is that? So let's, Julie, maybe you can take us through this pulse.
Well, there's so many layers from that song, just moving back through Michael's delicious meditation to the conversation from the very beginning. It was so beautiful. And I'm sorry, I don't have my mic turned on. I didn't know I was going to be on here. So I hope you can hear me okay. But let's just pulse that clarity out into the world. And really, like, I was seeing this composting idea of I used to, as a spiritual guide and psychotherapist, I would teach clients to, like, if there's any residue or just imagine a pitcher or a glass that has residue in it. You just pour the water in, and it might get mucky and muddy for a while. And then eventually when you just keep pouring that water in, it just clears out, and it's clear, clarity, clear. And when Michael was talking and the gardener in him, I was seeing the planet like that, like all of us, just pouring the purity of spirit over our planet, and it just clearing. And with the composting, it's the same way with clearing ponds and waters, is when the water rolls through the rocks and the little bacteria and things just begin to eat and clear the fish debris and everything, and we get clear, crystal clear water as it's running. So I'm just sensing that clarity over Mama Earth, and where the seeds of the earth, as Theo reminded us, just pouring that down over Mama Gaia, as we are cells of her. She is the cells within us, and just pouring that and pulsing that and offering some stability around the planet with all of this strange weather. And
Yes.
with Teresa, and with just like holding that West Coast, but also I'm up here in the East Coast visiting, and it's green outside. I told Dot, the grass is green, the trees have leaves on them. Like, what's happening? It's January. So we bring this, just impulse, this beautiful universe to our planet, to all of us, to all of the children, which all the kinship of tomorrow that we're welcoming in, and just pulsing that to all beings on the planet. Thanks for asking me.
Wow. I'd like to just pick up on the composting bit, because Teresa mentioned earlier we did a soul gardening course at Meditation Mount, which is in Southern California, of course. And the idea is that the pain of the past stops one from being present until it's composted. And what you do is you take, over time, the pain of the past, and you put it in that compost bin, that great recycling unit that is the heart. Just as you would, as a gardener, put all the materials and that are dead and decayed and finished from last season, you put them in the compost bin. And when you begin the compost, it actually starts to get hot and sticky and smelly, just like our own process. And to make this short, the question is, how do you know when your compost is ready? Well, in the garden, you know it's ready when you put your hand in the compost and it's not sticky and sour. There's this soft soil, and when you bring it out, it smells sweet. So it goes from sour to sweet. How do you know when you've composted the pain of the past? Because when you think of the incident that caused you the pain and the sourness, all you have is the sense of sweetness, the sweetness of grace and gratitude for what you have been given, because without that event, you wouldn't have the gifts you have now. So I believe that the composting, and and Theo referred to it as well in the song, that's partly how we clean up our act. And the great recycling unit and compost bin that will take everything, the pain of the world, the suffering of the world, is an open and loving heart. And the fire of love is that agent that ensures that we move from sour to sweet. Thank you.
Dot, can I add one more piece here that's critical? May I?
Yes.
Just about the compost. This is,
Of course.
I do a program called Beautiful Compost, and so I love this topic. And when I was researching to do this emotional work with this debris and the spiritual work that we do in a compost pile, like literally we could take our scraps and go put them in a pile out in the back and just leave them there. And if we do, it will compost. It will take a lot longer, and it will get smelly and slimy and gross. But if we tend to our compost pile and we go out and intentionally stir that compost pile, it's a difference of anaerobic bacteria and aerobic bacteria. So the gardener in Michael knows this. When we're stirring and turning our compost pile intentionally, we're bringing in the oxygen so the aerobic bacteria can break it down faster. And it gets really, really hot, but it breaks it down faster, and it goes to the clarity that we're talking about and the sweetness. So leave your scraps in the backyard if you want to. It's going to take a long time to break down, and it's going to get real smelly and slimy and gross. Or we can tend to that, to invite that clarity quicker, to invite that compost.
And it's really hot out here. So let's do that. Let's do our work. So Teresa, thank you for putting websites in the chat, globalsilentminute.org and meditationmount.org. And Theo, please let us hear your voice again. Tell us a bit, let us say thank you. Let's send love, Theo and Michael, Julie, Teresa, behind the scenes, Kaylin, with Theo, your music. Oh, gorgioso.
He's the best. I want to say one thing. You can hear my voice in the background, I know, is that I put a link to support Theo's music. And I just sent him a little gift at the beginning of the event today. And, you know, the musicians are really having a harder time, like really making their livelihood work. And so if you're inspired by Theo today, you can take that little link and give him a little tip today. Give him a little bit of money love to help support this kind of music, which needs to get out in the world, to go out into the world more and more. So if you have a little to give, this is a really good day to do that. So
would you like to offer a reflection, Theo, or tell us a little something?
Yeah. So let me turn my reverb off so I don't sound like I'm in a cave. So one thing I wanted to announce is the one song, I wrote that song about 10 years ago, and it's been kind of in its own like rebirth, composting, rebirth, like just a cyclic rebirthing, but it's actually, I've produced it and I'm releasing it next month. And I don't know if I think if you click the link, we'll just have to do another one where when it's released.
Deal.
But I'm excited to say that it's finally coming out to the world. And on that note of composting clarity, something I was feeling is like, and the one song's all about this, and so many spiritual teachings, it's like when you understand the way nature works, the way the universe works, when you're clear about that and you align with that function, that form and function inside and outside, life just like is so good. Like there's the abundance comes, and the joy comes, and the peace comes, and when the pain comes and the challenges come, then we can relate to it properly. We can see that life is happening for us, not to us. And then we don't, not that we don't fall into victim mindsets ever again, but less and less. I've noticed the more I just align with the way that the universe is trying to work, the emotions and the generational trauma and pain that is being composted through us in this moment. It's just we get to be the flowers, we get to be the soil, that the next generation is planting their seeds in, and it just works so much better. So
Theo, can you feel our hearts beating in your direction?
I can.
How gorgeous is that? Thank you. Thank you for offering your unique contributions so powerfully and beautifully, and for those words. I'm going to call them wisdom, and joy is a special wisdom. So before we turn it over to Teresa, though, and hopefully you will come back, Theo, before we turn it over to Teresa, for breakouts for those who can stay and reflect in community, Julie, tell us, give us a sentence or two about tomorrow, please.
Tomorrow is day 7. Let's close out this beautiful 7 days with the music of Gary Malkin, probably the message of Gary Malkin as well. We'll be integrating, and it's the day of kinship. And I know in the hearts of the founders of 7 Days of Rest, kinship doesn't just mean our brothers and sisters that are human, but all life. So come join us as we commune together and really hold an intention for our kinship with all of life on this beautiful planet Gaia, as Gaians, fellow Gaians.
Gorgeous. So, Julie, I have to say that when the flyer first came out, I thought it said kind ship. And I thought, oh, that's clever. And who better than Julie Krull and Gary Malkin to pilot a kind ship for humanity? Well done. Looking forward to tomorrow.
That's great.
Beautiful.
Well,
So I don't know, Teresa, or Julie, if you
Let's-
want to say anything about the connection field, good of the whole, islands, before we do breakouts, but over to you, Teresa. Thank you, everyone, so much for being here for the hour, and breakouts are next.
let's share about the connection field a little more tomorrow. And before you all leave, we're going to have one more song with Theo to take us out. And then if you can stay afterwards and would like to go in to some breakout groups, we had more people stick around yesterday, and everybody's saying, oh, I'm being a little shy, but I'm going to do it. And then everybody's having the most wonderful time connecting. So if you're feeling called to have a little connection with other heart-centered community members, stick around. But for now, we get to have a little more music with Theo. And thank you, Dot and Michael and Julie and
Thank
Theo, everyone. Love you all.
Thank you, Dot. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Michael. It's so good to be here with you all. It really is a co-arising emergent field of wisdom, and we're cultivating this together, and we're all in it together. And this song, for my, I guess it's an encore-ish, is called Keep Bringing It. And I wrote it in the spirit of, like, you know, if you could pray for one thing that you want life to keep bringing you, I just want to invite you to hold that in your heart. What is it that you're calling in? That clarity of what you want, you know, what you long for in life, and let yourself be in the vibration of having it more than longing for it. Like, actually feel what would it be like to receive that, and just ask life to keep bringing that to you. Here we go. Well, I can't go on hiding my light just because I'm afraid I'll shine too bright. Well, this contradiction lives in me, so I'm on a mission to be set free. Even if my heart breaks, it's time for my soul to wake. Even if my heart breaks, it's time for my soul to wake. Even if my heart breaks, it's time for my soul to wake. Even if my heart breaks, it's time for my soul to wake. So keep bringing it, keep bringing it through, keep living it, keep living your truth, keep bringing it, keep bringing It's a beautiful day to come alive inside the dream, with our heart in the sky. This revelation, it's you and I, infinite constellations, unified. Hearts are breaking open, soul is waking up. Hearts are breaking open, soul is waking up. Hearts are breaking open, soul is waking up. Hearts are breaking open, yeah, yeah. We'll keep bringing it. Keep bringing it through, keep living it, keep living your truth, keep bringing it, keep bringing it through, keep loving it, put the love in everything you do, oh, oh, oh. Even if my heart breaks, it's time for my soul to wake. Even if my heart breaks, it's time for my soul to wake. Even if my heart breaks, it's time for my soul to wake. Even if my heart breaks open, it's time for my soul to wake. Keep bringing it. Bring the love.
I love that so many people put joy, that they really were calling in more joy this year. I like that. Yay. Thank you, everyone. If you're listening out on social media, we'll be closing this stream. We hope that you'll join us tomorrow for our final day of 7 days of rest and return to essence. And thank you again, Michael and Theo and Dot and Julie and everyone for being here. And I hope you'll stick around so that you can have a little time to connect in as